things theology, all things theology. We chop it up properly without an apology. Gotta give doxology to God hollow, because this is how we do it at All Things Theology.
Yo, grace and peace, guys. Welcome back to an episode of All Things Theology, where I'm your host, Kdub, and today we're going to talk about Abraham Piper. But before we do that, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and as always, click that notification bell so you can be aware when I drop good content. Yes, we're going to be talking about Abraham Piper, the son of John Piper. Yes, that's right. I have done videos about Abraham Piper in the past, discussing his ardent atheism. He is an evangelist for atheism, and Christianity lives rent-free in his head. I really can't understand the I hate Christianity, I'm done with Christianity, but you spend the rest of your life talking about Christianity, making a good deal of, lucrative cash on the side. Abraham Piper is kind of making his resurrection of his career by being a TikToker, the place of deep thought, right? And so I have taken the opportunity to respond in the past, and I want to do so as well. Let's check out this video together.
Nobody believes in God. It's impossible. You can only believe in an idea of God, more specifically, your idea. And if it's in and from you, then you are bigger and more complete than God. Whatever might be divine, you encompass it. Praise be to you.
Now that you played it, I want to know, how would you respond? You guys know how I do it here. I always tell you guys to think about it. Pause the video if you want. Reflect on Abraham Piper's statements. I do believe it is important to give reasonable responses, thought out answers, if that, to some of the objections to Christianity. I mean, maybe as silly as some of them are, we should be able to give responses to them. So if you thought about it, welcome back. Now we're going to play it together and we're going to go through it.
Nobody believes in God. It's impossible. You can only believe in an idea of God, more specifically, your idea. And
So let's start there. He says no one believes in God. You can only believe in an idea of God, and even that, more specifically, your idea. Well, this already presupposes that God does not exist or cannot exist. You have to be careful, when dealing with people, to point out the presuppositions. I know Abraham Piper likes to pass himself off as the TikTok philosopher, but really he's not very in depth. I mean, this is a 20-second video, right? Not really meant to communicate to Christians or people who even believe in God. He says it's impossible, it's impossible to believe in God. You can't, right? This is absurd. I'm going to show later how it contradicts some of his own beliefs, but let's keep going.
it's in and from you, then you are bigger and more complete than God. Whatever might be divine, you encompass it.
So he goes from this weird state of it's impossible to believe in God. No one can believe in God, really. And then he goes and shifts from, well, that just makes you God, and you can believe in that. So wouldn't that even entail that you can believe in God, since God is you and you possess the divine? Whatever this possessing the divine, you encompass it. So it doesn't even make sense. And, like, Abraham Piper is a world of contradiction. Just watching his videos, it's like, my goodness. And a question I would have for him is what you're saying true? Do you believe what you're saying to be true or false? And you'll see why that's relevant when I play this next section.
Praise be to you.
Good old Romans 1, right? You got to praise the creation. Very interesting, huh? Well, let's get into this next video to show how he's in a world of contradiction.
Nothing you believe is true. Nothing you believe is false either.
So then how could he make the statement that no one believes in God, or it's impossible to believe in God? Is that statement true or false? I mean, according to him, it's neither true or false. So it's an irrational statement if this statement here is true. Like I said, he likes to pass himself off as the philosopher of TikTok, as if that's saying a whole lot from the videos you see on TikTok. But he's in a world of contradiction. He is a philosophical mess. And as I've stated on here, shout out to Rick Caldwell, he is not epistemologically self-aware. He is not aware of his contradictions. That's the sad part. But we will hear more of this philosophical nonsense.
Belief has nothing to do with truth and everything to do with fear. If you're naked, you need clothes. And if you're afraid, you need beliefs. Accuracy.
Well, everyone believes something, so it's this again. It makes no sense. Everyone believes something. A belief is a held, a belief at minimal is a held opinion. It also can be a fact. A belief is a trusting something. But many atheists have kind of shifted belief into, oh, that's just this uninformed, faith-based opinion. You have to be careful of how atheists redefine terms like this. They'll put you in this box. They'll straw man you, essentially. It's like, well, no, that's not what I'm saying when I say belief. Everyone believes something. The question is whether it's true or not. But according to Abraham Piper, there are no false beliefs or true beliefs. Well, what is that third category that you're now presenting us with that belief is? Again, he wants to attack the Christian faith, but he doesn't have a philosophical, ideological system that's even strong enough to talk. I mean, you guys hear it. Come on.
It doesn't come into play at all. Is this shirt true? That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't make sense because you would have to define what you're talking about this shirt. Is hair true? I mean, well, what are you talking about the hair? Do you mean, does it exist? Yes. Hair does exist. Does the shirt exist? Yes. But you have to define what you're talking about the shirt to order to know if it's true about the shirt. To say, is the shirt true, is an incomplete sentence. But smile and, seem philosophically smart, but it's really silly.
You can say it's blue and green. You can say it has snaps. You can even say it sucks if you want to, but you can't.
And all those things will be true, So you have to define what you're talking about, the shirt, in order to talk about the truthfulness or the falseness of the shirt, right? But again, TikTok atheism.
It isn't true. That's a clash of categories that doesn't compute, and it's the same with beliefs.
Well, no, it's not the same, because your sentence was incomplete and irrational, but not all beliefs are incomplete and irrational. So the category error was on you, not on people who are able to define their beliefs and, make sense of them. But again, this is something you believe, so therefore it's irrational, like I said. And then it goes against everything we talked about in that first video. Because he said it's impossible. Well, that sounds like a truth statement, doesn't it? You're actually asserting something about the truthfulness of God, right? But again, play another TikTok video, you contradict yourself all over it.
Recognize that beliefs are how we protect ourselves from the deep fear inside us, how they're a desperate attempt to systematize an unsystematizable reality, then it no longer makes any sense to talk about how they're true or false. Do beliefs sometimes present themselves as facts? Absolutely. But they're not. If someone...
Whoa, but they're not. That sounds like you're saying they're false. Again, this is laughable. This is an insanity, an asinine position to hold. Because anytime you speak, you're going to speak to the truthfulness or the falsity of your statements. It's impossible to avoid them. It's like people who say there's no such thing as objectivity. Well, that's an objective statement. It's a completely irrational, contradictory position to hold, and you see it here. Don't fear the non-Christian worldview. This is like the best it has.
Claims their belief as fact. All they're saying is, here's an idea that I currently need to hold on to so that I'm not sucked into the void. Does that mean every belief is good? No, of course not. Just like...
Wait, how do you know that? That sounds like a truth statement. That whether beliefs are